It goes, guillotine. Yeah. I can't say it too loud because then my wife will wake up. She's not awake yet. It's 5 a.m. But she will be awake in exactly 1 hour. Shush. Actually, 2 hours. My bad. Reversed my sleeping schedule yet again. Happy me. Now, I don't really know how to title these streams. It's so annoying because I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Because usually it's up to the chat. You want to talk about something, and then you get a super chat that's about a completely different thing. And then you talk about that different thing, and you see people in the chat like, V, look at the title! The title, look what you said you're going to talk about. So I'm thinking like, maybe I'll just finish the stream. And then based on what we talked about, I'll brand it and title it like that. How about that? The sound was an ad which played in the background, and I had to stop it. By the way, do you know how annoying it is? Like when you have a lot of browsers open, right? Like you get a ram's worth of browsers open, and then there's a music playing, like there's an ad playing, and you have like 20 things open, and you're like, where is it? Where the hell is it? And you go hunting, and you just can't find it, and it's so goddamn infuriating. How do you guys deal with that? You know what I think? Maybe, just maybe I can put my troll like right here so that it looks like I'm looking at the chat. Naruto. I would tell you something like, look, there is a mistake that you can do online, and I hate it, but I'll do it anyway. Telling people what anime you're watching. If you tell people what anime you're watching, you're going to get 10 people. No, you should watch this. Hey, watch this instead. Hey, why don't you watch mine? Hey, watch mine. Like, shut the fuck up. I'm watching mine. Jesus fucking Christ. I already made my decision on what I'm watching. But, like, you get the people. You need to watch this. You need to. I noticed this phenomenon as well. Like, when you're at a party and you play a funny clip, like, you open YouTube and you play a funny clip. And then people are like, let me show you mine. Let me show you mine. And then everyone is putting their funny clips. And it's like, you feel like people aren't really interested in what you have to show. They're just waiting for their turn to come up so that they can impress everyone with their knowledge. I'm watching Overlord, by the way. I'm watching Overlord. And by the way, there's another anime that I watched previously, which shut the fuck up, Junior Rodom. There's another anime that I watched recently, which it has everything that I hate about anime, okay? So, the anime is called Ragnarok. And in Ragnarok, the gods want to destroy humanity, but they allow humanity one last chance. They're going to do a 1v1 against the gods in an arena. And if humanity manages to win, then they get to survive for another 1,000 years. If not, they get to destroy humanity. Let me hold on. I'll tell you why I hate it, but it's like, and it's not that I hate it. It has literally everything that I hate in an anime in it. All right, here we go. This is the one. So, Badum. I mean, the concept is cool, right? Because you get gods from various cultures. Even Hindi gods. I don't know how they managed to get past that. And for the humanity side, you get a lot of like you get Adam, you know, like the first human. Then I think it was that Finnish sniper that had the highest kill ratio. Like really good expert swords, but like basically like heroes from the tales, you know, like Perseus from Olympus, you know, stuff like that. So you may be wondering like, well, why am I hating it, right? Because it's kind of like just they're beating each other up. It's kind of like Dragon Ball. The story doesn't really matter. It's just like, okay, well, they're going to have at it. It's because it's kind of like when I started despising Naruto. So in Naruto, they led up to the battle with Uchiha Madara, and it's like Uchiha Madara, and he is fighting the Shinobi Alliance, right? And when the going gets good, and when it's finally interesting, you get background story. You know, it's like Uchiha Madara opens the chakra, and he's got like the third eye, and shit's about to go down, and you're hyped up for the next episode. And in the next episode, you see how Uchiha Madara was a kid and how he befriended someone from another village, and it goes for like 20 more episodes, and you're like, motherfucker, what the fuck are you doing? Like, don't you guys know how to write a story? Like, you write that shit before the battle, not during the battle. What the fuck is wrong with you, Japanese animator? Why are you doing this? And it's literally the same with Ragnarok. It's like, oh, Hercules is going to do battle against Jack the Ripper. And they're at it, and they're fine. And then you see, like, the story of Hercules when he was a young lad and he was protecting people. And it's like, okay. But now, like, Hercules lifts his club and he opens up the inner gate and he's going to do something. And then you see, like, Jack the Ripper, how he was being mistreated as a child. And it's like, God damn it. I really hate this way of storytelling. I saw the first episode. I would guess in the end, Alexander the Great or Pathan beats Jesus or Buddha. Fun fact, Buddha actually fights for humanity because, like, Buddha was a human before he became a god. So Buddha is actually on the human side. I mean, he could have chosen either team, but he chooses to go with the humans. It's kind of cool. Or you only let the flashback... Yeah, like, another thing with the flashback, you know, you let it run for 15 minutes at most. But, like, the thing with the flashback... Like, you establish the characters before the actual fight, right? Like, you... And maybe, like, once, you do it once. Like, if like, you think... You know, you have, like, this big asshole. Like, it's like, this really nasty asshole. And he beats everyone, and he's sadistic and stuff. And then you show, like, the flashback, like, how he was mistreated and his reasoning for doing so. It's like, okay, fine, you do it once. But, like, when you do it time and time again, like, it's like an actual plot development now. It's starting to get annoying. Eve was really cute, though. Eve was really ushikushi. You can watch the stream. It's a lie, editor. By the way, let me show you guys what happened yesterday. So, Pipkin Pippa made Lisa cry. Like, they had this really existential stream where Pippa was almost like, how did I put it? Like a... Not a torturer, but an interrogate. Like, she interrogated Lisa. It was like, Lisa, what do you feel about... Like, Lisa, what do you think about... But Lisa, like... And there were, like, such weird questions as well. It's like, Lisa, why are you kind to people? It's like, because I like doing things for people, not expecting anything in return. But, like, Lisa, like, if you're kind to someone, don't you expect, like, that feeling of gratification for doing it? And it's like, motherfucker, you know, if you're going to get philosophical, then yes, like, there is absolutely no such thing as selfishness. Because even when you do a selfless act, you still do it because you want to feel good about doing it. You know, if you want to get that philosophical. Like, even when you give money to a beggar, like, you get something in return, which is like the kind... Like, you get to feel good about yourself, basically. Like, you get that warm, fuzzy feeling that you did something good. So, technically, yes. Unless maybe... Like, maybe... you know, there's a car coming and it's about to hit someone and you push them out of the way in the last moment without thinking... Like, maybe that's, like, something that you would consider, like, selfless, but I don't think there are many of these actions. But anyway, like, let's see Lisa crying. Pippa the monster made Lisa cry. Look at this.
I think hardship does make good things better. It makes good things... But it makes immediate good things.
Like, Pippa's point was that you can't enjoy good things without hardship. And I do agree with that. Right? Like, think about it this way. Let's assume the concept, the biblical concept of heaven and hell exists. Hell does allow you to feel some sort of happiness. I guess, like, happiness in hell is when the temperature is a lot less hot than it was the previous day, right? You know what I mean? Like, if you get tortured one day a little bit less than the previous day, then that's a good day, right? But now think about heaven. Like, in heaven... You get a good day, and you get another good day, and you get another good day, and another good day, another good day. Like, all the days are good. So, after a while, good becomes normal. Like that state of being, you adjust to it, right? Well, assuming that we're... like, I'm talking about the concept of humanity, right? Like, unless it's a completely different existence. But we're talking about, like, if a human were to go to heaven with your body, right? Like, you are transcended right now with your mind, your body, you're in heaven. And you only have good days. you become bored of it. You know, it becomes normal. It's kind of like when you buy a good computer and you're happy with it, but like after using it day after day after day, like you don't see it. It's like, oh my god, you know, I got this really expensive monitor that's HDR and 4K and shit. No, you just get used to it, right? So, Lisa, I do agree with Pippa's point, but like she's way too philosophical for the shit. Like, yeah, okay, you need to have bad days in order to appreciate the good days, right? Like that is absolutely true. Like if you, for example, go on a diet and you're struggling, you're suffering, you know, you can't eat sweets, you can't do what you usually like to do. And then after a while, you finally get to eat a cookie, like, oh, that's the best cookie ever, right? So the hardship makes it worth it. I do agree with what she is saying.
Feel better. Like if you have hardship and then you experience like an immediate miracle or something or immediate good thing, then that feels really nice. But then what? You know, like
Lisa's point is that after hardship, if you experience something nice, you're only happy about like the immediate thing, but after a while it goes back to normal. And yeah, like you need like a wave of nice things and bad things to happen so that you can enjoy life properly, I guess.
There's like
there's actually like this is a thing in relationships. Like there are people who have perfect relationships, and those are the most likely ones of ending up with a divorce. Because think about it. If you never argue with your loved one, if you never have any problems, you never have any struggle or anything like that, then yeah, it's going to get boring, and it's going to lead up with the people cheating on each other.
it sort of balances out after that one good thing, I'd say.
But like somebody in chat said, it's lower lows and higher highs.
Yeah, but that's just not livable.
I'm living it every day, what do you mean?
Basically, Pippa is telling Lisa that her life is filled with bad things.
That's not... that's really hard to maintain the balance.
But that's the beauty of life, there is no balance. Things just happen. And maybe...
I'm sorry.
Maybe like the... Why are you sorry?
I don't know, just... To me, that sounds difficult.
But that's just life. Like, life is difficult. And
Of course it is,
like,
but...
if you appreciate life as being difficult, you can appreciate it that much more when it's simpler, you know? If you ever get to that point where, like, you're making, like... You've got your dream house and you're living your dream life.
I really love the editor, like, when Pippa is speaking, like, she's giving divine truth.
Life and shit, you know? Like, it's gonna... Like, you can look back and you can be like, oh, yeah. Things are so much better now, you know?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I started tearing up. I'm sorry.
Why?
Because it just makes me sad.
What the fuck, Lisa? Jesus Christ!
I'm sorry.
What? Why are you apologizing?
Because I don't want you to feel like that. It's hard. I know that you have to, because it's just like the way that life has to be, but I don't know.
What the fuck? I don't know how to react to this. You're a very sweet person.
I'm sorry.
Why?
Because I didn't mean to cry. I'm sorry.
No, it's not fake. That's actually Lisa. Like, if you talk with her, like, she's actually that type of person. I gotta say, I wish I would have had Pippa's abilities to just start talking about philosophy in front of someone and make them break down into tears. But like, all jokes aside, Pippa is very lucky for having Lisa as a friend, because she actually cares about her. So it's very rarely like you talk to a person that they actually care about your feelings and stuff, especially on the internet. That's a little bit parasocial, people would say, but still. I don't think like, to just there is necessarily a distinction between real friends and internet friends. I mean, I really hate the people who make that distinction, Basically, like, what is an internet friend? Like, I got internet friends that I can pick up the phone and call them. You know, like, if I need money, they can give me money and help me. Like, if I have a predicament that I ask them, it's like, hey, can I borrow some money from you? Because, you know, my cat is sick. I don't have money right now to take her to the vet. I'll pay you back. Like, they will. You know, like, I don't get it. So, like, a lot of people say, well, it's an internet friend. It doesn't. I don't know. I mean, I have real friends that I spend less time than with internet friends. You know, so it depends, I think. All your friends are online? No, I got real life friends as well. But they're very busy. It's not that I want to spend time with them or anything. It's just like they have jobs, they have families. We do get together sometimes, but it's a lot more rare that I get along with the internet friends. So I will not stop VTubing Backer the Hacker. Why should I? Why should I? Give me a good reason to stop VTubing. Cat sick, is this a rerun? No. I will tell you this, why I keep giving the example with cat getting sick. Usually, when you don't have money, there's a lot of things that can happen. I noticed this as a recurrence. Like, when you run out of cash, then the TV breaks, then the washing machine starts leaking, you know? But most things can wait. Like, let's say your TV broke, and you don't have television, and the money is going to come in 2 weeks. Well, such is life. You know, you're going to wait 2 weeks without a TV. But when the cat gets sick, and your money is due in 2 weeks, what do you do then? What do you do then? Because, like, it requires the vet. It requires veterinarian attention. It's very expensive, right? And you can't just wait 2 weeks for it to be taken to the vet if it's an emergency. So that's why, like, cat getting sick is a thing. When do we get to see how the furry is made? I don't think. I mean, I've seen artists on YouTube that draw furries, but that draw art, but I haven't seen one that draws furries. I was a perfectly fine channel. I made a poll, Backer the Hacker. I made a poll. Your team lost. Like, your team said that though. Do you know how awesome it is to just be able to VTube? Like, I don't have to comb my hair. I don't have to change my clothes. I can do it whatever. If I want, I can be naked and you wouldn't know it. I can do what I can pick my fucking nose. I can pick my nose. And then I can eat the booger. I can eat the booger. And you would never know because I'm VTubing. Now I understand why there are so many cute girls like that. I have seen some VTubers that shared pictures of themselves, just like drop dead gorgeous. And I'm like, what? Why do they VTube though? Like, VTube is supposed to be for ugly people. Why do they do it? And then you find out, when you do it yourself, that you don't need to put makeup, you don't need to comb your hair, you don't need to do jack shit. I never comb my hair. Yeah, now you're not going to be distracted by it. My hair is always perfect on this avatar. There's teams. Yes, there are teams. There was the team of people that wanted me to keep the avatar, and there was the team of people that wanted me to get rid of the avatar. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the new Star Trek, which is coming. Well, the new Star Trek, which is coming. The new Star Trek that, Strange New World. Yes, Strange New World. I was watching it. And do you know why I was watching Strange New Worlds? I was watching it because Arch Warhammer suggested it. It's like, you should watch this because it's good. And I'm like, okay, fine. So, first episode. What a shit show. I will say though, you know, despite of the fact that it's got the California vibes, like it's made in current year, at least it's within the spirit of Star Trek. I mean, it does try to make it like it's utopian future. And they are actually going and exploring planets, and they're dealing with moral implications and conundrums, and they're trying to solve that. So it is within the spirit of Star Trek. But my fucking god. Okay, so let me tell you the first problem. Despite the fact that I guess there's a balance of cast or whatever, when you see the Captain Pike, I believe, right? He goes on the bridge, and it's like a harem there. It's like an isekai. Like, he's surrounded by women. And I don't have necessarily a problem with that. I guess, like, in the future, women are the ones doing the fighting while the men stay at home. I mean, I would love to marry a ushikushi, buxom lady that goes to work and brings home the bacon while I stay home and do the house chores. Like, that's fine. My main problem is that there's no aliens. Like, where are the interesting aliens? The only alien, besides Spock, is this guy. And he's got boobs, I think. Are these boobs? I can't tell. I think he's got boobs. Whatever, you know. But, like, my point is that there's no aliens. And even the humans, they don't have, like, interesting things. Like, if you look at the Next Generation, you had Georgie from engineering. Like, he had the eye visor thing, and it's like, oh, well, that's an interesting trait, right? Then you had the Betazoid, Dana Detroit, like, she can sense emotions and stuff. It's like, okay, that's an interesting thing, right? And then you had, like, other non-humans, like, you have Data, and he's an android, like, that's cool, and you have Worf, and he's a Klingon. But, like, here, it's like, there's so many humans. Like, I'm watching Star Trek, right? I want to see, it's not Battlestar Galactica, like, give me more aliens, give me more of this guy. Again, I want more of this shit. It's also weird, like, they actually have, like, a hot woman, like, that's bizarre. Like, can you put her in the Orville, please? Like, take her away from Star Trek and put her in the Orville so that I can have all of the cool characters in one place. And that is the haircut from this lady. Like, the haircut here really bothers me because it just so breaks immersion. Like, this is a rebellious haircut, right? Why would you have, like, a rebellious thing in the military? Like, everyone else is, you know, like, and then you have, whatever. You know, this is just a aesthetic choice from the directors that I don't like. But other than that, like, I don't mind that, oh, diversity is our strength. Like, have aliens that are played by diverse cast. Like Worf, you know, Worf from Star Trek. It was played by a black guy. I don't care. You also had in Voyager, right? The Vulcan was also played by a black guy. Like, fine, like, have diversity, right? But have aliens, for fuck's sakes. It's the future. So, yeah, that's my main complaint. And I see this with Star Wars as well. Like, when they keep making shit like Obi-Wan and whatever new TV show they're making, there's no aliens. Like, they get, we got this black new Inquisitor and stuff. It's a human. It's like, just, where's the supernatural creature? Like, it's sci-fi. It's supposed to be, like, out of the ordinary. It's supposed to create the immersion that I'm on a different planet. TOS made the lady hunchback an ugly episode. What? What lady hunchback? TOS. I don't remember that. Umatsu Ubosa. Those guys are usually already married at my age. What? They have non-feminine haircuts. I don't know. See, the thing is, like, maybe that's the style in California, yeah, but, like, no woman here has that hairstyle. And I guess it's because the women really love their hair. Like, they consider it, I can't say a treasure. Like we actually, no, in the Romanian language, we actually do have, like, the kind of like the scalp's treasure. You know, the treasure of the scalp. We have this expression, podoabă capilare. You know, the head's, yeah, I kind of like the head's treasure. Because, like, the worst thing that can happen to a woman is if someone shaves her hair. Like, that, I think there have been cases where like, women humiliated each other. Like, there was a case where a woman found her best friend cheating on her, and she beat her up and shaved her hair, right? So it was in the news. And that is the thing that, like, most women cherish and care about, is their hair. Like, nothing freaks out a woman more than when her hair starts falling. Like, if she looks at the brush and sees hair there, it's like a horror movie for them, right? So to see that or in TV shows, you have women that willingly, like, shave parts of their head, it's, like, weird. It's just like, how much are you going to pay me, these flat peps? If you pay me $50, I'll go to sleep, right? Let's see, because last time I asked for 100. I'm trying to eyeball the number. Like, how much do you want me to go to bed? AZ got super chats telling him to buy an Oral-B electric toothbrush for the money. Who's AZ? I don't know who AZ is. I'm not looking for a girl. Are you guys dating in my fucking chat? Annibal and Umatsu Bosa, get a fucking room. Look at Annibal. I'm 30. I'm not looking for a girl, but when I am, I'll be one of those guys. If half the population is male, then there are plenty of single guys that qualify. Don't get discouraged. What? By the way, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Like the thing with women. A lot of guys don't understand. It's kind of hard to relate. Of course, I'm not going to drink flat Pepsi. Flat Pepsi is disgusting. The thing is, like, when you're a guy, you know, like, you're struggling to get any type of female attention, especially when you're very young, like 18, 25, right? You don't have your own house, you don't have a car, you don't have a stable career. And it's very difficult to get any type of feminine attention, like, to even get a woman to look at you. But when you're a woman, like, it's obviously the opposite, right? When you're very young, it's very easy to have men that are willing to even have sex with you. I mean, if you go outside and you say, like, hey, who wants to have sex with you? You're probably going to get volunteers, right? So the thing with women is that they're not interested in, like, finding a man. Because obviously they can. The problem is, like, they want to find the man, you know? They want to find Prince Charming, like they say. And that's why it's difficult for them. And usually, this ends up as a paradox. Like, women are attracted by men that ignore them. Which is, like, if you're a man and you like a woman, then obviously you're not going to ignore her, right? So, it is so frustrating, let's put it like this. Because I remember, like, when I was into the dating scene, like, I would have a lot of women that I didn't like. They were swarming me, but the ones that I did like didn't want to have anything to do with me. And it was so freaking frustrating, right? And I guess it's the same for women, because, like, the men that they like are the ones that ignore them, and they usually get fuck zoned. I don't even know why. Like, I guess it's the challenge, right? It's the mystery, right? Because you have, like, if you're a sexy lady, and you have, like, all these men that are trying to simp for you, and they're dragging your attention and whatnot, and then it's that one guy that literally doesn't give a shit that you exist. Well, why doesn't he give a shit that you exist? Oh my god, like, what is wrong with him? You know, is there something wrong with you? Like, I mean, you have all these guys that are willing to be with you, but, like, this one guy just doesn't care. So, maybe that's why. I don't like being ignored. Just don't want a dude saying he loves me when he barely knows. This is something else that women don't understand. You know, like, when you go to the restaurant with a woman, like, notice if I'm wrong on this, okay? Like, do this experiment. How long does it take for you to order food? Because for me, I look at the menu, and within, like, 20 seconds, I know what I want. But when I have, like, my wife next to me, or any of my exes, like, they open the menu, they research it like they're writing a dissertation at the university. You know, like, they're going to read that menu up and down, and they're going to flip through it, and then they're going to want to ask the waiter for additional advice, and they're going to then ask me, you know. And it's the same with love. Like, when a man looks at a woman, within a couple of seconds, he knows whether or not he wants a relationship with her. Like, just a couple of seconds. Oh no, but women, they want to get to know him, and they want to ask questions, and they want to, and then they're like, no. Right? Like, men fall in love right away. You can look at a nice lady, and your heart already goes, dum dum dum. But meanwhile, for women, it's not like that. It's like, oh, they want to ask the question. They want to, God. So they don't understand that, like, if a man tells you, like, my point is, if a man tells you that he loves you within a couple of seconds without getting to know you, he probably actually loves you. Serious, like legit. Okay, he's not lying to you. He's not making it up. He legitimately probably loves you if he says he does. What don't you know about that, Lego? Picking the food is not the longest. It's them taking the perfect picture of the food. Oh, you know what I like? Like, do this at a restaurant, right? Let me see if I can find something. So, let's say you go to the restaurant, right? And the perfect cake arrives. This is my favorite activity, okay, chat? Listen to me. Look what you need to do. So she orders something. I don't know. Let's say she orders this, right? And she wants to take a picture. Like, she gets her phone ready. She's about to take her... You grab this fork, and you smush this. You smush it. You just smush. And then look at her reaction. This is where you learn how to troll, chat. This is why you come to me. Or you can just draw like a little penis, you know, with the fork. You make like a small circle here, a small circle here, and then a whoop. It's advice. Yeah, just smush it. Don't smush it too hard, right? Because she still wants to eat it. But like smush it enough so that it doesn't look good in the picture. Have you checked out the Capcom fighting game collection? No, not yet. Only time I've ever taken a picture of food is when I cooked it. You know, honestly, I do agree with you. Like, this is something that I really dislike. It's like when people take pictures of them going out at a restaurant and they take a picture of food. I do it myself, by the way, but like I know why I do it, so I know why other people do it. It's to show off, right? Like you want to show off to people. Oh, look how happy I am. Like I used to do that in a time. Like the more miserable I was, the more food pictures I took. I noticed this, right? Because like when I was unhappy and I would go somewhere, like I took a picture and it's like, oh, look what I have been, right? I'm so so like if you go out and you take a picture of food, it's because you're goddamn miserable. Or you want to show off that you have money or some shit. You're not enjoying yourself. Because if you're enjoying yourself, you're eating. You're not taking pictures. But if you actually cook something, like if you cook beef Wellington in your own house, and you're very proud of it, because you worked hard and you finally... I do understand taking a picture of that. Yeah, like if you create a culinary masterpiece, and you worked hard, then I do understand. DM James, thank you for the $2. And what's wrong with the goblin? It's a great goblin. I cook lots, but once I cook the perfect omelet... Oh, get the fuck out, Tomatsu. Jesus, I was expecting you would say that you cook something difficult. It's like, I cooked the perfect omelet. Oh my god, I broke a couple of eggs and I threw them in the pan, and it was perfect. You have no time to take the picture because you're already eating it. Exactly. Everyone on Instagram takes pictures of their food. It's what it's for. Dude, your life is so fucking boring if you go and you take pictures of everything. Unless you go to like a 3-star Michelin restaurant and you want to show off. But even that, you know, like a lot of Instagram pictures is like people showing off. Like you want likes and admiration. That's why you do it. That's why I never had an Instagram. I guess like if you're a woman, it's good for dating. Right? Because you put pictures there to attract that perfect, handsome chap. But if you're a guy, I don't see why you would have an Instagram. Well, maybe actually you would have an Instagram to talk with other ladies. Must have been a photogenic omelet. The omelet didn't break at all. I made 4... Oh, come on, Umatsu. Learn to cook. You know, Umatsu? Talk to me. I'll teach you how to cook. I'll get you through the steps so that the next time you come into my chat, you're not like, oh, I cooked the perfect omelet. You'll be like, oh, I cooked the perfect black Angus steak. I wanted it medium rare, goddammit, and when I put it on the plate and I cut it, it was exactly perfectly cooked. It was medium goddamn rare. V burned water. I forgot about that. I remember that. Oh, yeah. No, never mind. I remembered. Yes. I didn't even know it was possible. I left the water on the induction stove, and I forgot it for like 2 hours or something. And when I got back, it was like literally burned. Like, so obviously the water was evaporated, but it had like white dust particles all over the pot. And when I looked it up on Google, like what that is, it's like it's what happens when you burn water. Like, it is possible. Like, that took me by surprise, I gotta say. So I didn't actually burn water. I discovered something. You know, I was doing like Pasteur, you know, discovering something for humanity by accident. All right, let's see what else we have for today. Manliness at risk in gender-neutral society. Yeah, I love the concept of gender neutrality. Interesting how they don't want to push for the concept of race neutrality. You know, like a race-neutral society. They don't want to do that. But like gender neutral, oh sure, why not? So let's put this article here. Let's put the troll here. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay. Society is shying away from manliness and femininity and moving towards gender neutral, where sex-specific qualities are not valued. I kind of disagree. I don't think they're moving towards gender neutrality. I think they're moving towards promoting the reverse of genders, right? So instead of like maternity leave, they want paternity leave. Instead of, toxic masculinity, they want women to have toxic masculinity. Like if you look at Captain Marvel, right? Like Captain Marvel is suffering from toxic masculinity. She is hyper violent. She uses force to solve every solution. Like everything that they describe as toxic masculinity, Captain Marvel has. So that's what they want. As chronicle of heroes such as Scott of the Antarctic and Ernest Shackleton, Joanna Gruxwix knows a thing or two about machismo. But modern society is shying away from manliness, she warned this week. I find it very troubling that we're moving towards this gender-neutral society where sex-specific qualities are not valued, she said. In the same way we are shying away from manliness, I think we are shying away from femininity as well. Well, I mean, yeah, but like, they're not shying away from it. They're reversing it, right? So men are taught to be more emotional, to be more feelings-based, to make more room for women in positions of leadership. And women are taught to be more, aggressive, like join the military, like that type of thing. So it's not like it's gender neutral. It's just like reversing the things. She was speaking in a discussion with Major General Patrick, who commanded the 7th Armor Brigade, dubbed the Desert Rats, during the First Gulf War about the lost virtue of manliness. He spoke about John Rhodes, who found fame as a strong woman in the 1950s. She was able to bend iron bars and lift anvils, but was also very attractive and had a 22-inch waist. Well, maybe that's it. Yeah, they're trying to remove femininity. Like it's not about being attractive as a woman anymore, right? Like if you look at a lot of video games, the way they know how to do it is to have like these hyper aggressive women, like in Mortal Kombat, for example. Like the new character, they're hyper aggressive, but they're also the Last of Us 2 version of Abby. Right? Meanwhile, the men are the ones that are supposed to be beautiful and nice. I mean, the new game that's coming out, what is it called? God damn it, I forgot the name. There's a game coming out. A lot of people... Saints Row. Okay, so the new Saints Row, like, they allow you to have sliders for various things, but they also make the breast smaller for women. So if you're a man, you can sculpt that man and make him look as gorgeous and beautiful as possible. But if you play a female character, you're limited in the options of which you can create. Should I get the 20 chicken McNuggets? I shouldn't, because it's early morning, man. It's 6 a.m. What are you talking about? But like, her point is that in a society where it's being discouraged that men should be violent, then what ends up happening when you get into a conflict like Ukraine got with Russia? Like, who's going to defend the country? And the answer is, like, literally all the leftist friends that I have, like, they're saying if the Russians come into Romania, like, their solution is to flee, right? And they're like, oh, well, if war happens, I'll flee. I'm like, okay, but if you keep fleeing, like, if you have an aggressor, let's say Russia, okay? So you have an aggressor, and they keep coming and coming, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to flee constantly? Because eventually... the shit is going to knock at your door. So this is like, it's a very short-sighted way of viewing things. Like, it doesn't account that eventually bad things will happen. It's fine. The nuggets are healthy if you take them with honey. What? Women lean left politically since they select males. State support. Well, as I don't know. I think like the traditional way of doing things, like in my grandparents' family, was that the father was the rock. You know, he was the provider. He brought resources and he brought security to the family. But now the father is the government. So the government is the one that's the rock and is supposed to bring resources and security to the family. That's why, like, oh, well, you shouldn't have weapons to defend yourself. The government will defend yourself. You shouldn't care about being poor because the government will give you welfare. So in a way, it's just like replacing the father with like soulless bureaucrats. Honey is good on nuggets. Jesus, like, how many calories do you guys want? I mean, honey with nuggets. That sounds... I can't say vile or atrocious because it's probably tasty, but it does sound very unhealthy. Let's put it like this. Alright, let's see what is going on Twitter. By the way, did you guys see that Count Dankula trolled so many people? Like, he pretended to be a judge on the Supreme Court of the United States, and a lot of people, like, tried to flag him for misinformation and shit, because a lot of leftists actually believed him. Let me show you something interesting, okay? Like, I really love this. This is, like, peak male energy. Get is like, what man actually does this? Like, from what I know, all men just swipe right, and eventually, you know, you get a match. But the whole principle is to cast a wide net. Like, you want to cast a wide net to make sure that you're going to get that match. It was badass. How can that be cringe, Lego? How can it be cringe? Dude, like, do you not know what fun is? I'm really curious what you do for entertainment. It was awesome, yes, it wasn't cringe. What do you mean it's illegal? It's not illegal. Can you imagine just how annoying it must be for some girls? Like, especially if you're not attractive and you finally get a match, but they never talk to you because, you know, they just casted a wide net and they were never interested to begin with. I think, though, it's probably why it happened to some, man. Because I never understood Tinder. Like, you get matches and they never talk to you. And you're thinking, like, why the fuck did they match me to begin with? But then when you actually understand how the world works, it makes a lot of sense. You see, people's moods are actually affected based on the time period of the day. So, psychologically speaking, people are a lot more emotional during the night than they are during the morning. I mean, it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Like, during the morning, you're a little bit more grumpy, right? But apparently, during the night, you're a lot more vulnerable. You're a lot more emotional. So, think about it this way. If a woman, let's say, swipes you right during the night, like, it's 10 p.m., you know, she's relaxing, she's bored, and she finds you there and she swipes right. And then you contact her during the morning, like, she's going to be a completely different person. And then if you contact her once and she doesn't respond, you contact her again, she will view you as being insistent. And then she's going to block you. So, basically, try to look at the time when you've been matched, like if it's like 7 p.m., and then talk to her again, either right after or the next day at around the same time. So glad I never had to deal with dating apps. Oh, well, I guess, like, a lot of people will deal with them. Like, now it's... I'm really curious, like, what will happen if the dating apps will have ways to manipulate the matching the same way that social media manipulates ideas. Like right now, if you say something on Twitter, it can trend or not trend based on whatever the people at Twitter want. So if something is trending and they don't want it to trend, they can suppress it and vice versa. So maybe like dating apps can do the same, especially apps like OkCupid that have like a percentage of match rate. Like, let's say the person there really wants, I don't know, to promote interracial marriage. Just out of the top of my head, like they want to promote interracial marriage. They could make the algorithm like show you matches that normally wouldn't happen, but like because they want to push for that, you know. Pro tip: don't just say hi. How are you doing? How the fuck would you? Okay, Umatsu Bossa, like you try being the one initiating, and you'll see how difficult it is. Like nothing that you say. Like it's a person that you don't know, right? And you want to get to know, like, what are you going to say? Seriously, like, what are you going? It's not like, first of all, I wouldn't use Tinder, but secondly, like, you're using Tinder, like, she didn't put even anything out of there. Like, what is the first thing that you're going to say? Just talk to her face to face. Oh yeah, and then get a sexual harassment lawsuit if it's in California now. Do you not know that talking to women on the street is harassment? I'm too short for dating apps. Oof. I guess you can always lie, right? Yeah, that is catcalling. Exactly. You know, like, I also noticed that the more you think that you're original as a guy, the more likely you're not. Like, every guy thinks they're original with their pickup lines, but in reality, they're probably not. Oh yeah, you know, you can actually tell the woman that in Vino Veritas. That's what is it, Vino Veritas? Like, truth is in the wine? Don't greet people, just start talking to them. About what? You don't know that you don't know their hobbies, you don't know anything. Like, what are you going to talk about? You like, what is the first line that you say? It's so weird. Like, this is why I prefer Facebook, because, like, at least on Facebook, you get to see her likes, and you get to see, you know, what music she likes, you get to see what movies she watches. But on Tinder, you know nothing. And you still have to make conversation. It's so fucking difficult. I get dozens of messages, 95% of them, it's like, hi, how you doing? 90% of those people are boring to talk to. I hate small talk. So what do you want to Umatsu Bossa? It's like, hey, let's fuck. I mean, like, what? Like, I hate small talk. Like, okay, I know why you're on this app. You know why I'm on this app. When are we going out? Is that something you'd like, Umatsu? It's like, when is the first date? I'm actually curious. If someone messages you and it's like, okay, when do we meet? When's the first date? What would you respond to that? Want to buy a tank full of gas in the morning? Oh, you want to be robbed? It's like, you want to call the cops. It's like, who robbed me? It's the pump number 9. The pump number 9 robbed me completely. Honestly, like, there are actual women that, like, I know friends that went on dating apps and they actually asked women, like, hey, want to fuck? And eventually, like, some of them said yes. So, oh, you don't do casual sex? Like, again, like, what do you want then? Like, how do you want the guy to approach you? What do you want them to write? I don't know, because I don't use Tinder. Like, I did have a couple of casual encounters with Tinder, but it was an app that I really hated. Yeah, exactly. Why are you on a dating app? Hey girl, did you hear about my level 70 paladin? You know, if you actually go and you say, talk philosophical to... Oh, get the fuck. What should you say, like, talk philosophical? It's like, define gender. I don't know. Like, what would be a good philosophy? Chat. Imagine this. You have Umatsu Obosa on your dating app, and you have to talk philosophy with her. Maybe get you into the Pipkin Pippa vibe. You know, like, if I had Pipkin Pippa message you, Umatsu Obosa, and talk philosophy with you, you'd end up crying. Be interesting. Say almost anything, but just, hey, how are you? Sarah J. Jacobson, it's like that scene from The Notebook. What do you want? Yes! I would actually respond to someone who asked me about their palette. Level 70, yeah, that's like, what, Burning Crusade, right? Being chained up in the basement is for lifelong term commitment. Everything provided win-win. Hey girl, I just spent 20,000 in Diablo Immortal. Wanna come grind with me? You know, the thing is, like, when I was a kid, and I opened my first dating app and stuff, most of the women wouldn't have gotten those references. But nowadays, I think, like, all the women probably know about video games. Like, if you go out to women and you're talking to them about Diablo Immortal, they probably know. Hey girl, looks like we have matching purses. That's actually a really good one, you know, like you can say, hey girl, looks like we have matching purses, and then when she goes like, what the fuck, you're like, oh well, I just wanted you to respond, because if I said, hey, how are you, then you probably heard that, so, you know, it's kind of difficult for us guys, like trying to find an intro. Yeah, start with small talk. It's like, well, it's kind of weird, because like, you can't start with the big talk, because you don't know anything about that person, so like, what are you going to say to them? Like, you need to have the small talk. Facebook is a dating app. I wouldn't say no to that. Y'all are joking, but seriously, those are literally better starters than, hey, how are you doing? Man, I wish I could have Umatsu Obosa pushed in an alternative reality where women are the ones that are supposed to initiate. And I would just look at the pickup lines that she has. I would put her through the pain of having to initiate conversation. We have matching purses. Let's go to Portugal. Oof. Heard it's dangerous for streaming. Did you guys hear that Boogie challenged Ralph to a fisticuff match? Boogie challenged Ralph to a fisticuff. Let me see if I can find the... Obviously, it's not going to happen. I'm starting to think like all internet battles aren't going to happen. Is there one that actually took place? Like, is there an internet... you know, like, I got off the phone with Boogie. He is officially challenging the Ralph Retort to a boxing match, right? So, first of all, I think Ralph would win. I think Ralph can win this. I think he's got it, but it's not going to happen. Like, let's be honest. It's not going to take place. U-Ball fights happen. U-Ball wasn't a YouTuber. U-Ball was the YouTuber. U-Ball was actually someone that liked boxing. No, Warski versus Tonka didn't take place. Tonka didn't show up. Logan Paul and KSI, I didn't know about that. But I didn't know, like, okay, fine. So maybe one fight happened. But like 99% of the fights don't take place. And it's so annoying, right? Because they get hyped up. And everyone is like trash talking. And people pick a side. And they're like, alright, let's go. And then there's no going. Everyone stays. No one goes. I think the influencer fights will stop once some influencer gets a major injury. What fights? They're not happening, Zenith. There's no fights. No one is fighting. It's just trash talk over the internet. Not to mention, like, if people legitimately want to fight, they don't have to do it in a... Like let's find an avenue. Let's find... You go to a gym. Like, there are gyms with ring, you know, like, in some places you can have, like, a small gym that you can rent. And you have, like, a boxing ring or something, right? And you can get a referee. And that's it. Like, you don't have to have, like, this major event and, oh, let's take blood works and blah. Not to mention, like, you're a YouTuber. You can find the state. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong, but I think, like, in Washington, D.C., there's this law that if you have a cop, as long as it's mutual, like if two people want to fight, right, you can do it in front of a cop. So you get a cop, you tell him like, okay, me and this guy, you know, we want to fight, and they both agree. And the cop sits there and he supervises it, and it's up until one person just gives up, right? So you're not allowed to obviously do anything overboard. But like if one person taps out, then the cop has to stop. So there we go. It's all about money. Well, yeah, of course it's about money. You can still make money off of super chats. But I don't think you can post it on you. I mean, maybe you can post it on you. I don't know. It's always legal to spar for free. It sounds illegal, dude. It depends on the state. Like there are. Oh, let me see if I can find the law. Like this is again, like if it's two people consenting and we're talking about like a legal sport, then it's no problem. Let me find. I mean, it's no problem finding an avenue or a place where you can do that. Fighting in front of a cop. Are you allowed to have mutual combat fight in front of a police officer? Yeah, so, from what I understand, the fight has to be agreed upon two evenly matched opponents that does not cause property damage. I would imagine that much of this would depend on the officer who was witnessing the fight. He certainly could arrest both people on, well, pretty much whatever charge he thinks he can convince of the DA or just for cool them off, blah, blah, blah. Mutual combat, it's called. Mutual combat, right? So let's see. Obviously, you're not allowed to use weapons or anything. It's legal in Texas. There you go. Like, I know that some states allow it, is what I'm trying to say. Duel should be legal. Yeah, but the thing with the duel is that it can end with a person seriously injured. But what I am talking about is just like fisticuffs, you know, like something that you can do as a sport. So I'm not talking about, you know, people using weapons or something. Although, like duels used to be, people used to duel with fists as well in the past. Like this was one way of doing it. Look it up in the law. Well, look, if I were to organize, like if I wanted to fight someone, which I don't, I think it's really cringe. But like if I was to, you know, have an event like Keemstar is trying to organize, yeah, I would probably look at the legislation and I would find the simplest way to do it. Like if I legitimately want to, you know, like, okay, settle the differences. I was like, let's find a legal way to settle the differences. It's like, all right, well, you want to do it? Yeah, I want to do it. All right, fine. Let's find the quickest way. You know, I don't want to, oh, let's have it in 7 months from now. And, you know, like, that's bullshit. Like, if you want to do it, you can do it. You can still die from one punch. Yeah, but like, which is more likely, Zenith? Which is more likely? You know, like dying if you have a fisticuff, or dying if people use pistols at dawn, like the old days, or swords or some shit. Like, yeah, you can't die from one punch. I agree. But like, again, from what I know, there are gyms that you get, like you can rent a gym that has a boxing ring in it, and you can hire a boxing referee, and there you go. You know, if it's between two consensual adults, you sign a contract, and you can, you know, I mean, if it's just sparring for which people would be willing to pay to see, it should be promoted for as much money as you can get out of it. Yeah, but like, what happens is that you have two YouTubers, and they're like, all right, well, let's do this. And then they don't do it, right? Like, they hype it up, they do the big talk, and eventually one of them backs away and doesn't show up. Pistol for duels isn't okay because you could shoot someone uninvolved. Oh, get the fuck out. I mean, that's not the problem. It could be arranged so that no one gets hurt. But you did have like pistols in the Olympics, if I'm not mistaken. Like this was actually a sport. Pistol Olympics. I don't know when they got rid of it. But there was actual pistol dueling. Oh, here we go. So there was actual pistol dueling in the Olympics as a sport. 1908. Yeah. I wonder, like, how much did it hurt? I don't think, like, they used the actual bullets, obviously. But let me check it out. So the 906 intercalated game male competition fired. So only the males had the competition. Like there was a female competition for this. They fired dueling pistols at plaster dummies from 20 and 30 millimeters. Pistol dueling in 908 was demonstrated as part of the Franco-British exhibition using Olympic fencing area and in front of invited guests. Oh, they used wax bullets and wearing protective equipment. Teams were... Why don't they do that anymore, I wonder? Like, it looks like a cool sport. Like, if it's wax, you know, like, no one gets hurt, so why not? Let me see what else we have in the Olympics. Shoot the cork. Oh, I'll probably have another stream just for this. But 17 sports that were actually in the Olympics and then they got taken away. So we have tug of war, trampolining, live pigeon shooting, club swinging, solo synchronized swimming. That sounds interesting. Steeplechase, croquet. Oh my fucking god, who would watch croquet? One-handed weightlifting, race walking. Yeah, I'll actually save this for another stream where I'll talk about the sports that used to exist in the Olympics. I think Umatsu is fine. She was just giving advice from her perspective. No, I do. Is that I dealt with this problem and it frustrates me. You know, like you have to talk with the person you never spoke with before and you have to think of the perfect thing to say as an introduction, and it's the hardest thing in the world. We can send Chicago people for the duel. I do wonder why they took it out though. Like if it's wax bullet, like and they were wearing protective gear, like obviously no one got hurt, so. You would watch croquet? Why would you watch croquet? It's probably the most boring thing in the fucking world. I mean, let me see if I can find the croquet stream so you can understand what it's about. Maybe I can get the stream demonetized. Everyone watches soccer. All right, give me a second. I'm watching the commercials so that we can see the video. How to play croquet? Oh my god, this is amazing.
To play croquet, presented by Gather Together Game.
230,000 people watch this.
This tutorial. A croquet set has 6 mallets, 6 balls, 9 wickets, and 2 stakes.
I love the dramatic music that they have here. It's like for the most boring sport in the world.
The croquet field is set up with a stake at each end of the field. 2 wickets are placed in front of each stake towards the center of the field. Here, the starting stake is being placed with the first 2 wickets. On the other end of the field, the turning stake is being placed with 2 wickets also being placed. A wicket is placed in the center of the field. The remaining 4 wickets are placed to form a double diamond pattern on the field. The official croquet field is 100 feet long and 50 feet wide. These distances can be modified to fit your yard or playing area. Croquet can be played in teams or as individuals. These playing variations will be explained later in this video.
I think it's like billiards, but standing up. Like it's like yard pool, I guess.
For this tutorial, players will be playing individually with 1 ball each. The object of the game is to be the first player to score 14 wickets and 2 stakes in the correct order. Players will take turns hitting throughout the gameplay.
Yeah, it's like pool, but without the trick shots and stuff.
Each player has a colored ball and matching mallet. The order of play is marked on the stake from top to bottom. Orange will go first. A player's first turn starts with their ball between the first stake and the first wicket. A player will get 1 hit per turn unless bonus shots are awarded. Bonus shots are awarded by scoring a wicket or stake or by hitting another player's ball.
Only rich, pretentious Ivy League kids play this. Yeah. I mean, look, if I'm going to play something standing up, at least I want it to be like a test of strength, or, you know, like tackling, like football, like kicking a ball hard, you know, like something like that. Why would you play if you're going to play this, at least play golf. This is like small golf, is it? I would rather play miniature golf than this.
Orange's first hit is through the first wicket. Scoring the wicket gives Orange a bonus shot. Orange's next shot goes through the second wicket. Scoring the second wicket gives Orange another bonus shot. Orange takes the bonus shot towards the third wicket. Orange's turn is over. The second player to play is Green. Green starts their turn and play
I guess it's a little bit more difficult because the grass prevents the ball from rolling.
Continues with players taking turns. Players will work through the croquet field as follows. Once a player makes it to and hits the turn...
Where is the excitement in this? Like, what can you imagine? Like, okay. Imagine it's the Olympics. And he takes the shot and people are screaming, and is that going to happen? No. They should have jousting as an Olympic sport. You know, I think they could actually do it safely now with the technology that we have. I mean, there are people that do jousting for fun. There's this CEO guy, I forgot his name. He's got a channel where he talks about history stuff, and he does joust. Yeah, the only thing that you could do with this is probably like have bets, like $50 on red and stuff like that, but... Abaddon wants to play this. Abaddon, the only way I would play this is if I was like 65 years old.
Orange's turn is over. The second player to play is Green. Green starts their turn and play continues with players taking turns. Players will work through the croquet field as follows. Once a player makes it to and hits the turning stake, the player will work back towards the starting stake.
So, like, if you're a master of croquet, like, if you're playing this... Hello, Billy Odell. If you're playing this since a wee lad, right? And you master the art of croqueting, is it possible? Because, like, if you keep getting bonus shots and bonus shots, and there's, like, nothing else on the field, because it's like billiards, right? Where there's other balls getting in the way and stuff. Isn't it possible that you have the muscle memory to go through all of these wickets without allowing other players to play? It's actually pretty fun. Get the fuck out. It was okay before electronics was a thing. I mean, if there's no computers, yeah, maybe the... You know what I would rather play? Like, there's a... There's a video showing, like, the Amish Olympics. And the Amish have some interesting games that I found interesting that I would play. So, I don't know if I can find the one video. They had like the hoop throwing thing. Like they would throw hoops and stuff, and it was actually... Wait, what the fuck? Hold on, chat. I can't believe this. Yeah. Let me just bring it up. This is shocking. Get the fuck up. What is this, chat? Like, the communists used to do this with apartment buildings, but like, look. Holy shit. They're not even struggling. Like, they're doing it like it's easy. Bruh. I mean, I guess it makes sense, because they don't have, like, the technology to do it any other way.
Okay, start in the back, slide.
Can you imagine if there's a woman, like, can you move it a little bit to the left? Actually, can you move it to the right? Like, no, back it up. A little bit to the left. That's it. Like, can you put it there? No, you know what? I actually don't like it there. Can you put it to the...
Left. Slow.
They don't even look like they're struggling to do this. Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. What happens if someone drops it? This is so fucking ingenious. So they built in these pillars so that they can pick it up. I think like there's people inside as well, right? It's not just these people on...
Oh.
This is so awesome. Like the fact that they see like there's people inside as well.
He's catching all the legs.
Oh, there's more than 100 guys in here. No, this is not a sport. This is like when they want to move a barn, I guess. Well, I don't know why you'd want to move a barn, but I guess they can if they want to. The question is how they started to lift. That's a really good question, actually. Holy shit, look how many of them. Look how many there are. It looks like a millipede. Where are they taking it though? Like how far? This is so, imagine, you know, like imagine you're sitting there and a bar walks past you. I'll tell you what, like if I would buy a barn, I want the Amish to make me a barn. Like this looks so fucking sturdy. Like if you can do this with a barn, it's probably going to resist for at least a couple of decades. No, there's no foundation. They're just taking the barn for a walk. Where are they taking it? Like this is what I'm curious. Like, but why though? An English farmer allowed his main barn to be used as storage for straw by many local Amish in the country he was raised in. The hail struck by lightning destroyed the barn. The Amish shared the loss with the English farmer. A community came together, many weeks of planning. On a day in the middle of planting season, the Amish gathered on one morning, arrived at the English farm, raised and roofed and completely finished a modern 2-level barn with amazing precision, manpower. Yeah, I keep hearing this from people that live near the Amish, that when they get together, they can create barns within hours, like from nothing. It just imagine an Amish gazebo. Yeah, like they probably can do it in a couple of minutes. The Amish are renowned carpenters. Well, I guess, but like still, the ability to just construct something so big as a barn in a couple of minutes is just like, wow. The Amish do that kind of shit. I mean, it just blows my mind, like how they can do it. That's the thing. Second only to the Shakers. I don't know what the Shakers are. Let me see if I can find you something that the communists could do. So, communists moving apartment building. I don't know if I can find it. There was a video from my country where they moved an entire building. Ah, yeah, here we go. I think they only did this in Romania, like, and I don't know why, but like they had like some central planning stuff. So they decided to move an entire apartment building with people still inside. So look at this. Like an entire communist block. They just moved it because they could. Like it at this point, like I have to wonder, doesn't it cost more to move it than to just demolish it and build it somewhere else? And it basically shows that people were still inside while this was happening. Communist, man. I guess that's more impressive than what the Amish did. I gotta say, like moving a 8-story building. I don't remember why. I think like the dear leader wasn't appreciative of like where the building was at. I think he wanted the street or something. So. Anyway, right, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the super chats. I need to go to bed now because it's time for my wife to wake up as well. So hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Was a little bit low energy, but I promise I'll make a better one tomorrow. and I'm going to see you then. Take care.